Greetings all and welcome back to another episode of What the Fuck is a reborG podcast. This is reborG here. Got Boy in the house. Oh yeah, he face deep in the carpet, so he good to go. He done. Today I wanted to do a little something different from the normal show, so I went out and asked a bunch of friends and family like to just send me questions, and it would have been nice if I could play like comments to questions before we did this shit, but I don't feel like going through all that YouTube shit, searching it to see if it's a song I could actually use or any of that other shit. Or if I put it up there, this video get taken off. And I don't feel like dealing with that shit. But I had a lot of people send me some questions. Appreciate all the love. You know, the questions. For those who didn't, it's not no big deal. Hey, maybe I'll catch you on the next one. Maybe I'll catch you when I do a specific topic about questions. Because these set of questions was just random. I just was telling people to ask me any type of question, regardless of what it is. Like, if you wanted to know why peanuts are 78 cents a pound, I was going to answer it, you know. I don't fucking know, but, you know, that's just how far and how left I would go with the questions. But I'm going to shout out the people's names, hit the questions, and we going to get at it, you know. Let's start it right now with Justo. Homie Justo, a.k.a. Tavon. This nigga sent a bunch of fucking questions. He called the arms. He asked a bunch. And when I mean a bunch, if you think 5 is a lot, he beat that motherfucker. So some of the questions he asked, and I'm going to mix some of them up, and may go back to another person's questions, but fuck it, let's go. What's up with this VA weather? One thing about Virginia weather, and before I go on further with the questions in the show, let's start it out with a little bit of partakeage, if you will. Pall Mall Blacks. Because they under $5. That's just plain and simple. That's the only thing. And once they hit over 5, I might just quit. But that's what we do. Well, you're going to die from smoking. Oh, well. As far as Virginia weather, one of the things I do like about Virginia weather is we get all the seasons. So you get a taste of everything. Fall, it's like real low 60s all the way to high 40s. Not too chilly. It's just, a nice cool day. The winter is real, but it's not as real as some of the other states that get real winters. Because I know y'all saw those videos in January and February where people were throwing boiling cups of water into the sky. And that shit evaporating. I saw that. I put a coat on right on the couch. Oh no, I can't do that. No. So you'll never have to worry about me like moving to New York, Chicago, or any of that other stuff. I'm fine with the cold here. Because when it comes to the cold, at least it's something that you could really do about it. Because you could put on enough clothes to be warm when you out and about in the cold weather. But when it's hot, there's no way you can get butt naked enough to counteract all that heat. You can't get naked enough to keep cool. But as far as the VA weather, it's always been confusing. Like, I was thrown off because this year we didn't have a hurricane, or it was some warnings, but it really didn't hit like that. Like, it was supposed to be in September. It didn't really hit. It was just like normal rain. And then we went like a couple of months without any real rain. It was a lot of drizzle. It's been raining a fucking lot from like the middle of February till now. We're at March the 3rd. Shout out to Cousin Vion. Happy birthday. But it's just, I'm not going to say it's weird. And for you, just though, it's different because you've been in Florida where it's just like any other place. You know what you're going to get. But you've been down there spoiled with that nice ass weather. Like, they have 60 and 70 degree days in the wintertime. So welcome back to VA, motherfucker. Why do dogs shiver when they shit? I guess because they're trying to strain it through their bodies, make sure they get everything out. And they shitting outside. They shitting for the world to see. I mean, Boy tries to look at me when he takes a shit, but I don't look at him. I just turn the other way. Now, when he walks off, I will check the shit to make sure he don't have nothing in it. Like, I don't get down there, but I just glance down, make sure I don't see nothing that would alarm me, and then we keep it moving because I figured, they shivering because they shitting out in public. Everybody can see it. We don't have we have the luxury of having doors, and I can take a shit and close the door. Because sometimes if you don't around boy, he's so damn needy. One time I took a shit with the door open because it was a rush. You know, that, what's that called? Controllable diarrhea. I had a little bit controllable. You know, I wasn't going to poop on myself. But as soon as I sat on the toilet, it was gonna be something. And I forgot to close the door. And lo and behold, I heard him running. And he ran in there and jumped in my lap like it's time to pet him. He know better than that shit, but he still did it. I just, put him down and told him to get out. And I just calmly did it because I had to stop laughing first because it wasn't like he looked around the corner. He made a beeline straight to me and jumped right in my lap. So I had to get him down. The shock, I squeezed out extra poop and all that other stuff. So, I mean, I figured they just shivering because they in the world. Because everybody can see him shit. And they probably don't want to see, want people to see that. Because if they shit in the house, they shit in places that you would never think that they could even fit their bodies in to take a damn poop. So when they outside just around, that's just what that is. Another question he asked was why bitches don't really like video games like that. I don't know. It's just something that you just have to ask girls individually. Because I know there's some girl gamers out there. I've seen some on Twitch that are pretty decent outside of just, being tits and ass on Twitch and things like that. They actually playing the video games and putting in work and are good at them. They know about the games. They know about the franchise. They telling you their history with the game, how sauce they are back in the day and up till now. Shout out to Cherry some more. She has a great Twitch channel. Her, Miss Murder, Miss McKay. That's just some of the few that I watch. But overall, I don't know. It's just something that you would have to ask a girl to get a better understanding of it. Because coming up, during the Nintendo days, my mom and my sister would play. But it would be more or less a simple game like Wheel of Fortune, or my sister would play like Super Mario and Miss Pac-Man and things like that. And as she got older, she just fell out with it. I don't know. That's a good one. I don't think it's like a solidified answer because due to the new technology age, we have discovered a lot more girl gamers out there. But it's still probably a majority that don't or play it at a consistent basis as much as, guys do. Why is anime so over-sexualized? I guess because they some horny motherfuckers. That's all I could take from it, because that's one of the things that draws me out from some anime. Because I tried to watch Michiko and Hachin, and it was just too much titties. It was just far too much titties. I don't want animation to fill me up like that. And it was just so much horn dog stuff going on up there. It seemed like they were just going out of their way to just make you think about sex. And that's what the show wasn't even about that. It's just sex is a guest star in most anime. And I guess you would have to be one of the animators or be from Japan to understand it totally. But my take on it is they just some horny motherfuckers. That's just all I got for that. Did Thanos do anything wrong? He's a villain, so he's going to do what he's got to do for his well-being. So, and let me stop bullshitting with the answer, man. I don't know. I ain't watched the movie. Didn't really give a fuck about it. I don't think it stinks or anything like that. I just have no interest in watching it. That's just all it is. Now, if I'm over somebody's crib and they pop it on, I'll watch it then. I'm not going to get up and leave or nothing like that. But I'm not going to go out my way to watch it. I just don't care. Why do niggas hate light-skinned dudes? I don't think as much hate for the light-skinned dude as it used to be, because light-skinned dudes used to get dogged in like the early 90s, and that I don't even understand. I don't hate light-skinned dudes. I have a lot of light-skinned people in my family. My sister's light-skinned, my nephew's light-skinned, my grandma's light-skinned, a lot of her sisters are light-skinned. I got a lot of my uncles are all, one of them's light-skinned. So I don't understand what the hate is. It may be, I know in the 90s, that's what girls were looking at. In the early 90s, that they were considered from females to be the pinnacle of good looking as far as men go. Most of the time they have the good hair and stuff like that. And I really couldn't know. I would have to ask a dude who would hate them. to get a real clear answer. I didn't have shit for that one. Still a great question. Can an ass or titties be too big? As long as it's proportionate to her stomach. Because it doesn't matter how big the titties are, the ass off. The stomach is as big. She going to look like a lottery ball anyway. So, but outside of that, you figure, no. Everybody likes ass and everybody likes titties. So I figure as long as it's proportionate to their stomach, it's all good. And like what you like. If you like big girls or pass protection, as we call them in our set, then just go for it, man. It really don't make no difference. As long as whatever makes you happy. If she makes you happy, man, just go for it, man. And it shouldn't even fucking matter what nobody else think. You know? Now, prepare yourself if they're going to get clowned, and that's just what it is, because that's just what people do. I'm a silly motherfucker myself, so I'm a clown, period. I'll clown girls. I've clowned girls I've been with, so it's really not no big deal. Love who you want to love, be who you want to be with, and enjoy it. My homie Remy Rome asked me, why has basketball and football gotten so soft? It's a corporate decision. The heads of those companies think that people want to watch all the scoring possible. And there's some fact to that. People like a good high scoring game, but they just like the game, period. Whether the basketball game ends in 100 to 99 victory to 157 to 155, it really makes no difference. If the game is good, it's good. There's nothing wrong with that, because people love defense just as much as they love offense. People love a good block shot, good steal, good rotation, shutting the man down from scoring a basket, and the same goes for football. People like good tackles. They like the defensive players are superstars too. But the powers that be just seem to think if it's more offense, then people will watch more. And I don't think that's the case. I think people will just watch it, period, because they love the sport. And when they love the sport, they love both sides. Now, I don't know anybody that just watches offensive plays or just watches the defense play. It all depends on the team. Now, the Raiders, not this past season, but the season before, the defense was so terrible. I didn't watch them because I just knew the defense they were going to get scored on. They were fucking buns, and I just didn't have any interest in watching the defense because I already knew the results. But outside of that, a different game, like I enjoyed the Super Bowl for the defensive chess match that was going on with Belichick and Wade Phillips. So it really makes no difference to me, but it's not going to change. They're going to find ways in football and basketball to soften it up, to make scoring more accessible. Why are the Oscars overrated? Yeah, they are. The Oscars were last Sunday. Now, was it Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember. They were last week. And I take the same approach with the Oscars that I do with the Grammys. It's just to get informed on a movie I may not have seen. Oh, y'all thought that he did a good job acting in this movie. Well, let me check it out and see for myself. I was hoping Spike Lee had won at least Best Movie or Best Director. I was hoping so, because he has a very great catalog of movies, and I think he was due, because I don't think Malcolm X won anything. I'm not sure, and I think that's kind of fucked up. Like, they gave him awards, but it was on some other shit. They should have just gave him Best Director. He deserves it. He earned it. And the Oscars are overrated because a lot of people take these award shows as law. Oh, they think it's good. Well, it's just got to be good. Nah, that's not the case sometimes. It's all based on people. It's different people. We all love movies for different things. You know, like with the Avengers Thanos question. Some people love the Avengers. They love the franchise. They love Thanos as a character. They love the movie and all that. I have no problem against that. If you think it's the greatest movie, go for it. I respect it. I mean, it's just not what I feel like. You know, I just didn't want to watch it. I don't have any interest in watching it. But I'm not going to knock you for doing it. And if you think it's sauce, then guess what? It's sauce to you. Go for it. I don't give a shit. Enjoy. I mean, you can call me stupid and you missing out and this, that, and the third, and I can understand that because you like to get your friends and people that you know involved in some of the things that you like. But what you also need to understand is that if they're not with it, then they're just not with it. And I don't hate you for it. Oh, well. Where did DC go wrong? I think they went wrong because they're trying to do everything opposite of the Marvel universe. And it's all backfiring. Why would you come out with a Justice League movie where you don't have the time to introduce the characters and get people invested in the characters individually? I think outside of like Wonder Woman and, you know, people, Batman and Superman, they have their films, but the rest of them, they just really, it wasn't a recent introduction to them. People know, but when it comes to a movie, we kind of want to know what we're getting into before you bring all of them together. And that's what made the Marvel movie so good, because I did watch the first Avengers, and it's understandable. You know what this character is, what they're about, this, that, and the third. We're used to these characters. They've played in a couple of movies. We're bringing them back. And it's all about comfort. And I think DC is just keep trying to go against the Marvel Universe. They're trying to go against the grain on that and not try to seem like copycats, but that's what the game is built on, baby. If you can find a way to copy somebody and get yourself rich, that's just how it's going to go. That's how they've been doing it, and that's how it's going to go. It's not understandable why you haven't, because people just, they're not into it like that. You shouldn't have known that. I knew a Justice League movie wasn't going to be good after Batman versus Superman wasn't good. Watched all that damn movie, and it wasn't no brawling. You know, it's superheroes. We want to see superhero shit. You can have some talking in there because dialogue is necessary in the film, but mix some action in there. Get some fighting going. You know, a little knuckle up. Get some of the minions beat up or something. But I don't think they're ever going to get it right. They've cast it well, but people haven't invested the time in the movies like that, like they want to. And you could tell they haven't invested everything that they're supposed to use all their resources, because it could be better and it should be better. I don't know if it will be better. Next, we got my sister Tamika. And I just call y'all by name. This the homie right here. Respect her. Favorite movie and why? Well, I have a lot of favorite movies, but the one I'll easily go to is, damn, how did I forget that junk like that? I was thinking the movie and then I just forgot the name. I keep wanting to say the wrong name. The Professional. I don't know why I kept wanting to say The Punisher, knowing that wasn't it, but The Professional is my favorite movie. I just love the storytelling of a cold-blooded killer having to soften his heart so he could take care of this girl. Soften his heart to even take her in to keep her from getting killed from the people that killed her family. As I stated before, Gary Oldman did a great job as the villain in the movie, and it's just a great movie, great storytelling. Natalie Portman did great as the girl. It's just a great movie, everything about it. Because I'm not gonna say I'm a hard motherfucker, but I'm an asshole. It's a lot. It's hard around my heart. It's hard to get into there. So to see somebody like that soften up for the greater good of somebody else always stood out to me, and it's always something I respected about the film. Which animal best describes you? Now, I couldn't tell you personally because I haven't talked to any animals, but I took a couple of tests online, and they kept saying a wolf. So I really don't have any clue. I guess the wolf is trustworthy. I think that's what it was. Leader, and just taking care of the pack is what they're all about, and that's kind of like me. I'm trustworthy at this stage, the most trustworthy, I've been the most trustful at this stage in my life. I've cut out a lot of bullshit from me in my life, and I'm real comfortable with, what I am now today. And very prideful, all about the pack. My family and friends mean a lot to me, and making sure that they're good means a lot. So I'll just stick with the wolf, and I like howling and things of that nature. Do I believe in horoscopes? And do the traits really fit the people? Sometimes they do. I'm not really into horoscopes, but when I get around people who do, I try to pick their brain and see what different angles they're coming from as far as what they see in other people's personality. Does it actually match the description that's given for the horoscope? Because I'm an Aries, and one thing I've heard about Aries is that if you play hard to get with the Aries, they will continue to keep trying to get with you. And that's not me. I'm lazy as hell when it comes to getting at women. Like, most of the women I've ever talked to, been involved with, I knew they liked me at first. It really wasn't that much of a chase, to be honest. So they do fit in some equations, because my sister's an Aries like I am, and we emotional as hell. We wear our emotions on our sleeve. You gonna know how we feeling. We just gonna put it out there, plain and simple. We don't do a good job of fronting like that. Like, if I do front, it's because it's none of your damn business. I don't want you to know what's going on. It's not for you to know, and I don't hold you in a regard to speak to you about what's going on. I really don't fuck with you like that. But for the most part, if it's with people I fuck with, yeah, you gonna know what's up about anything. And what is my dream vacation? I don't know. It's hard to pick one place to be a dream vacation. As I'm getting older, I'm starting to think about that, like where I want to go on vacation in the next coming years. And probably the islands or South America, somewhere like that. I put it between those places, whether it be Costa Rica, the Dominican, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and Tobago, any of that stuff. Puerto Rico, Cuba, Brazil, Peru, Chile. Any of that stuff will work for me. Anywhere in that island. I just like the feel of it, and I just like to dabble in other cultures. Just to be in that culture and soak all that up and get the food, the vibe, the music, how the people are. That's what I'm down for. And I'm going to do some traveling in the next coming years, because it's just something I want to do. Appreciate that, to me, because those are pretty good. My boy Monte. Shout out to Monte, man. Monte is a military Air Force super airman. This dude has been rocking the whole time, which tells me that his job is kind of easy, because there's some bullshit jobs in the Air Force, and a lot of people just leave because they don't want to do that job no more. So I'm starting to think that there's no way he's just doing that for the family. I mean, I'll talk to him about it, but I think he has a job that's comfortable enough where he can do this dub and get it over with, because I think he's close to retiring. And shout out to you, man, for doing that, because I know I didn't have that in me. And when it comes to him, he has tax. What do most niggas burn their tax return money on? This was a good question, pretty much. And trying to find the answer was difficult as hell, because they don't have anything as far as how black people spend their tax returns. It has a lot of generalization, which is white people, and what they usually spend their tax returns on is saving, debt cancellation, and vacations. So that's the one for that. The next section is something that Monte asked and a couple of people. This is just the section where people just kept asking about these individuals. Yes, first one is R. Kelly. R. Kelly is the king of R&B regardless of whatever happens. It doesn't fucking matter. Whatever he did, whether right or wrong, is what he did, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the music. I'm sorry. The music's great. He did his fucking thing, and he will still be one of the greatest R&B artists of all time. Robert Kraft. Hey, man, sometimes you want to skip small talk and going out buying bags and hanging out and going to stupid dinners and things of that nature, getting to know somebody you just really don't want to know, and just get down to some sex. And that's what he did. Unfortunately, he got caught. Probably should have been a little bit more careful about it, because it's easy for a billionaire to just call some junks over, knock them off, and keep it moving. But he just tried to get a happy ending, and it didn't work in his favor. Jesse Smollett, no comment. It was just some silly shit. On to the next one. My boy Reese asks, why does the media make Antarctica seem so important and not so important at the same time? It's generally, I put it as a quote that I got from Dave Chappelle on the Richard Pryor I'm That Dead Yet Motherfucker show. Dave Chappelle said a black person can look at the moon and says, "Oh man, that's nice." And a white person looks at it and says, "I gotta plant a flag there." And that's generally what I think about Antarctica. It's cold as shit. Nobody wants to be there that long. They just going to take information just to see what it's like there, just in case they want to add that to a place they can get away from niggas. That's just, for me, what I see. And it's not important because some people just aren't going. Some people can't deal with the cold in Virginia. Ain't no way in hell you going down to the bottom of the earth to freeze like that. So that's what I got from it. My boy Joe asked, why is the English language so stupid? I guess because they went against the grain and made the language the way they wanted to, and didn't try to use it phonetically to go along with the rest of society or what the rest of the world was doing. Because a lot of people do say that the English language is confusing. For those people who don't have English as a first language, they find it confusing and things like that. I don't know why it's stupid. I can't say it's stupid. It's all I know. I fucked up in French class. I'm sorry, Miss Kate. 3 years for nothing. And you poured everything you had into making me a good French student, and I passed. But I still don't have shit left over to show for it. So I apologize to her. And I can't call it stupid because it's all I know. My boy Dose. Oh Snub. He asked me, what Hidden Gem albums have I listened to recently, old and new? So as far as the old portion goes, I got a hip hop and an R&B album. As far as hip hop goes, 88 Keys, The Death of Adam. 88 Keys produced a great album. He had good lyrics. It's a concept album about the misadventures of a dude and sex and the pros and cons that come from it. It's just a great album, production wise. He puts the topic right in your face and you feel like you're listening to a movie. A new school rap album. This is just a list of people. Like, I just couldn't put it on one album. But the Griselda Records crew of Conway, Westside Gun, and Benny the Butcher, they killed it last year. They just put in that work. And anything for Rock Marciano, because he released 3 great albums last year. So if you get a chance, look him up. I'll repeat it again. Rock Marciano, Griselda Records with Conway, Westside Gun, and Benny the Butcher. They just saw. And a new school R&B album, Crush by Raven Lenae. She was real good. She had Steve Lacy from the internet help with writing and production, and it shows. It's a real good album. I want to say it's an EP, so I want to say it's no more than 6 or 7 tracks, but it's good. Like I said, period, the production is good. She can sing. She has a great voice, multi-talented in her voice. She had them different octaves. She get it going. She get it cracking. Then the old school R&B album, Tom Brock, Love You More and More. Just for those who can find a connection with it, Most Def the Panties sampled Love You More and More, and There's Nothing in the World That Can Stop Me was used in the Girls, Girls, Girls sample and Jay-Z. But outside of that, Tom Brock is an artist that was signed by Barry White. Barry White wrote and produced this album with the Love Unlimited Orchestra, and it's just a great music album. The lyrics are deep. He's pouring out his heart in damn near every song. So I guess this was somebody put a gun to his head or something. Said, nigga, you either get famous or you done. So, but it's a great album, man. Great singing, very melodic. You can really vibe to it, and the music's great too. My boy Sly. Let me tell you about this black sumbitch here. This is one of the funniest dudes I ever met in my life, and usually when you ask him a question or you ask a question amongst the friends, he never gives you a real answer. Like, I had to find out from other people what his real name is. So you know what type of person I'm dealing with. So he just came out of nowhere and asked me a question. Do relationships still matter in this day and time? Yes. Some people still want to be in a relationship. Some people still value relationships. And some people are willing to put their all in them. It's not an everybody thing, but I do know it's people like that. I'm one of those people. And when it comes to relationships, honesty isn't the best policy. It's the only policy. If you're honest and come out and tell the individual what you want to do with them and what you want to do together as a couple, things will work together smoothly. If you want to have an open relationship, put that shit out on the table. If she's not down, then don't get in a relationship with her if you know damn well that you're going to be creeping around with other women. That shit is just stupid. It's not going to work out in anybody's favor. But if she agrees, you got to test her. You got to have an open relationship. If she says she's down with this and she doesn't, you just move on to the next one. Don't waste your time and energy and your peace of mind over some silly shit. Because there's enough women out here, and there's enough women out here for us dudes to get with, and there's enough men out here for the ladies to get with. And if you're gay, that's just your thing. I don't have nothing to do with it. But just be honest. Like, I would really enjoy a relationship. Now, I know I've had to work on myself because I am no day at the beach. And I was the cause of every breakup I've ever had in any relationship. It's all been my fault. And that's just the way I see it for me. But yes, they still do matter. Some people still believe in love. I still believe in love. But the thing is, with love, it just doesn't have to be with the relationship or with the opposite sex. I still believe in love, period. I got love for Boy. That's the homie. That's my ace. It's one of my best friends. But I also have love for all my homies. I love my homies, Boy, just the same as I love my sister or my nephew. It's all love. Now, it can't be the same love as my mom and pops because they fucking raised me. Like, my mom loaned out an apartment for me for 9 months for me to just sit in the belly and kick it. So it's not going to be the same amount of love, the same kind of love that I may have with one of the homies. But it's still love at the end of the day. So that's just where I see it. Be honest, and that's just the way it's going to go. My nephew, shout out to Breeze, Mike Chimney, he asked, why do black people depend so much on religion? And while I'm answering this, it's just from my point of view. I don't have like science or I didn't take much notes. I'm just going by what I've read, what I've seen, and experiencing the black church at the South. They value religion because it was the only hope. Nobody, for slaves, I don't think they was going to kick their ass for praising, praising the Lord and being about God and giving it up to God. They didn't mind that at all because it was the religion of the people here. So that's why I think that's why black people hold on to it so much, because it's the only thing they can have hope in, and have hope for that shows up to have some type of results for them. It's still things were still fucked up, but it's always something that they know that will never be taken away from them. I've never seen anybody like, you may burn a church, but they'll put one right back up. You may fucking beat up some Christians or whatever, but that's not going to stop them from praising and being that. And I think it's just the way it was set up from the individuals that brought us here. Because that was one thing I never liked when they said, well, it doesn't matter what color Jesus is. Then why make him white if that's not him? You would hate if you opened a history book and they had George Washington and Thomas Jefferson as a black dude with cornrows. Why does it fucking why it matters then? Why doesn't it matter when you're bringing in Jesus and that thing? Like me personally, I'm done with the Christian religion. I went to church my whole life growing up, and around 28, 29, I just figured that it wasn't for me. It was not something that I wanted to do. It was not something I wanted to put my energy in. Because I believe there is a God, but I don't think he's this magical person that you could just, magical being that you could just, I praise you, God. And if you do this, and just send me this and send me that. No, I don't see him as that. I see him as just somebody that created and just knows what's going on. I don't have a thorough explanation for it. That's just the way I see it. Do I believe there is a devil? Yeah, I believe there is a devil because I believe there is evil. But I don't believe the devil is just some red dude down in hell with a pitchfork and stuff like that. No, I think the devil walks among us because evil is everywhere. You know, it's just in some people. Because I grew up, I never had an urge to kill my parents, not even after they whooped my ass to punish me or nothing like that. It was never something that crossed my mind. It's just something I never thought of, and I know it's something that I wouldn't do. But some people have those thoughts in their mind, and I think that's evil, unless they fucking you up. Like if you have a horrible situation going on with your parents, and you want to ice them, that is. But my parents were good to me. They were great. Great parents, great upbringing. I appreciate everything they done for me. So I have nothing but love and respect for them. So that's just how that goes. And as far as the religion thing goes, it's just something that people can believe in. I hate the fact that Creflo Dollar bought a plane and they had these giant mega churches, and sometimes they come up with the excuse. What did Joel Osteen say? I got all this money from my books. Who you think buying the books? Other Christians, man. People at your church. People who listen and watch you on TV, sir. Stop trying to act like this is just some happenstance thing. Cut it out, man. Y'all fucking know better. I'm not going to get too much deeper into that because it's going to make me upset. Because the Christian religion has pissed me off. Next, we go into Pops. My Ace Boone. He asks, does the height and weight of players really matter in the NFL? And that's kind of a yes or no question, because sometimes you catch bigger players and they dominate, like a Jonathan Ogden, Orlando Pace. They were huge offensive linemen and they put in work. But then you have somebody like Robert Gallery, who was a huge offensive tackle, but he wasn't as good. Tom Brady isn't your prototypical quarterback as far as height and weight goes. Neither is Breeze. And that's just how the game goes. Some players are good, some players are not. Some players that are good are huge. Some players that are good are little as shits. Because I seen Doug Flutie make magic with Buffalo. Hey, he put in that work. We seen Russell Wilson go to 2 Super Bowls, do his thing. We see Breeze break all the records, and I'm taller than Drew Brees. So it all depends. Because you could be huge, you could be a gigantic person and put in that work, or you could be lazy and just get outshined. Because Aaron Donald's only 6 feet, but he's the best defensive player in the league right now. So in some cases it does, in some cases it doesn't. I think it's positional, what the player has on the inside, what type of heart they have. Good question, Pops. I like that one. Will LeBron sit his old ass down this year? Nah, he not gonna sit, because LeBron is all about keeping appearances and playing ball. So I don't think he's gonna sit. If they're not gonna make the playoffs, he gonna go down with the ship swinging, and that's how you see it. And another LeBron question that my boy Reese asks is, why LeBron fuck up my Lakers? That's just what he does. That's just LeBron. He's going to ruin your team, and not while he's there, but when he leaves, he's gonna leave that team ravaged. The Heat are barely holding on to be a respectable franchise. They gotta, D-Wade gotta keep going back every week to the Fountain of Youth and make the team relevant. Cleveland stinks. And I think that was one of the things why Magic wasn't willing to trade everybody and get rid of all the assets, because LeBron's going to leave sooner or later, whether it be through retirement or just signing a new deal, period. And the last thing you want is your roster depleted of any talent after a guy leaves. Excuse me. Nobody wants to get left like Cleveland. All right. The Cavaliers are. Oof. Lord, it's post-apocalyptic over there. And my pops asked this question: where the white women at? For those who don't know, I think I spoke on this before, but it's a movie called Blazing Saddles by Mel Brooks, about a black sheriff that comes into a town and cleans it up. It's a comedy, and they were trying, and the villain of this movie was trying to hire bad guys to defeat the black sheriff and his right-hand man, who was Gene Wilder. And the black sheriff was Cleavon Little. It's Blazing Saddles. It's a funny movie. I don't know if it'll hold up for people nowadays, but for me, it's still hysterical. So the villain was hiring bad guys to go against the sheriff, and there was a line of them. And the sheriff and Gene Wilder saw they had Ku Klux Klan members were in the back of the line. So to get their attention to snatch their uniforms, Gene Wilder screams out, "Oh boys, look what I have here!" And he pulls the sheriff's head out, who's the black guy. He said, "Where the white women at?" And they come running behind the rock. They beat him up, and they take their outfits. Shout out to Pops, man. That shit is hysterical, man. My homeboy Maul asks, why do they have drive-thrus for liquor, but they don't want you to drink and drive? Because they goofy about it. That's all it is. They don't give a fuck what you do. Either way, you're going to give this money back to the state and back to the nation. You're going to give this money back to America. You buy that liquor that's sourced, it's going back. If you get caught drinking and driving, you got to pay those fines, court costs, and all that. It's coming back. They're only going to be able to do it with the comeback. That's the only thing. And he also asked why prostitution hasn't been legalized, for the same reason, because you can't outsource pussy. Like, if the women would much rather go to jail for doing it than have the government come in and legalize it, and the government end up taking 60%. If a broad make $100, she ain't giving up that 60 to you just so she can stay around with that 40. Now most of them, they already know better, because they know they have a better chance out there on the streets doing their thing than going with the with the country. So that's just the way I see it. My boy Goo, this is a goofy ass question. I knew he was gonna ask this silly shit. Why is everyone a critic? Because everything needs to be critiqued, good, bad, or indifferent. If the people putting out things don't know what the people think, whether they fix it or not, they still need to know. Whether you like this video game, you thought this movie stunk, you didn't like the music, everybody has to be a critic, because everybody has an opinion, and it's just how you receive it. Now, if you like something and somebody else doesn't, it doesn't make a difference. It's not going to stop you from liking it, and it's not going to stop them from disliking it. It's just how it goes. It might be some people out here who love the movie Face Off. I enjoyed the movie Face Off as a child, but watching it as an adult, yuck. It stinks. So that's just what that is. You're not going to be able to turn me on that. If you still enjoy it, that's you. And that's just, for me, on my part, it's just from growing up. I'm not going to have arguments with people over something as silly as that. One of my favorite rap artists is Danny Brown. If you think he stinks, then by all means, it's on you. Hey, that's just how you take it. It's not for you. It's not your cup of tea. But for me, he's fucking sauce. Some people enjoyed the Carter 5. I thought it was just alright. So some people think, Drake is one of the greatest rap artists of all time. I think he's one of the hottest right now, and he's had a long run of 10 plus years. But he won't make it into none of my GO categories. Nothing against him, just not my cup of tea. But if you fuck with the homie, by all means, enjoy every bit of that shit. So everybody's just going to be a critic, okay? Even you, Goo. You criticize shit just like everybody else. Sometimes you try to judge. Sometimes you, excuse me, the boy. Are you defending Goo? Are we having a problem? Did I say something wrong, sir? Could you shut that up so I can finish this damn podcast? Thank you very much. What the hell? Lay your ass down. No, I'm not letting you come over here and pet me. Now you over here fucking up the show. I forgot to pause it, and now people get to hear me in here sounding like a fucking idiot, arguing with a damn dog who can't say nothing back. You're a jerk, sir. Yeah, but it's just criticize. People jump out the window and say things that they criticize about, and that's just what it is, man. Who gives a fuck? You got to have that not giving a fuck in you. You got to let that grow in you. Some things you just don't give a damn about. Okay? Hey, I only watched the first Kill Bill. I heard the other ones were great. I ain't went on my way to watch it. That guy Rami Malek won Best Actor for his role as Freddie Mercury. I ain't see it, but oh well. That's just what it is. We just keep this shit moving. His next question is, when will Instagram die? I don't know. I don't have an account. I'm really the last person you should be asking anything as far as social media goes. And the sad part is, that you should really be asking somebody who even has an account. Like, to ask somebody about Instagram who don't have an account is funny. I'm not going to say it's silly or stupid, because it's not. because I told you to ask me anything, and you follow suit, and I respect that, but I don't have an answer. Gu also asked, what if the people that have died were actually the chosen ones? I think there's some truth to that because of the way that they spoke, the way that people reacted to them. They had to go. Like Fred Hampton, the Chicago leader for the Black Panthers, he had to go. If you listen to a Fred Hampton speech, he will ignite your spirits for the cause. Somebody like Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy really fucked with black people. Like, it wasn't just a business deal. He was really on some, I don't have no problem with him. I think we can all get out here and kick it and live as one and be good. Bang, you gone, you know. I think sometimes, in some cases, the chosen ones, they're going to die just to keep the order of things going around. I'm thinking, you know, some people, if you're gonna speak out, prepare for the backlash. And not just the backlash of people who hate what you speak about. The backlash of trying to end you from doing that speech. Good question. I really like that. Gu and Justo asked, why do white people smell like dogs? I'ma just say, because they don't use no washcloths. And I thought that was just a joke. But I've been in some white homes, and I've had to leave and go home because they don't use washcloths. They really rub their whole body with just a bar of soap. And I think it might just be their lack of melanin. Because I've never smelled the wet dog thing from black people. So that's just what I'm assuming. That even after like going outside and playing and stuff like that. Like kids who do that, when kids come from outside playing and like have like really playing and sweating and stinking up, it's usually just funk. It's usually just some must, you know. It's not the wet dog smell. And it might be some of the oils from their hair, because I know white people don't wash their hair as much as black people do. And as the Bill Burr joke goes, they don't really know that much about lotion either. So I don't know why they smell like wet dogs. That's just some of the things that I come up with. Who would I bring back that has already died? And the crazy part is I couldn't find an answer when I was, you know, looking to do all this stuff. Because some of the stuff I had to write down, some of my answers, just in case, you know, it's a little lengthy and things like that. But who would I bring back? I don't know. Because it's not just one person I could pinpoint. And it's not somebody. I wouldn't bring some people back because I wouldn't want them to see what the world has turned into. I wouldn't bring some people back just because they probably wouldn't have been able to live in this time. If I could probably bring somebody back, it would probably be Sam Kinison, that wild-ass comedian from the early 90s, because at the height of his popularity, he died. And I think, you know, the comedy realm probably would have a different aspect if he was still around, still doing his thing. Because comedy's starting to take a turn. You know, the dry humor thing is starting to take over. And I think we still need a Sam Kinison out there to yell and scream and put that stuff out there. So that's who I would bring back. And I know a lot of you don't know who that is, so make sure you just look him up. If you don't like it, hey, that's on you, player. I just put the word out there. Do we have anything else that I skipped over? I think we got all the ones up there. Okay. We got some more from my boy Prince. He said, top 3 people I would like to sit down and chat with and why. Number 1, Patrice O'Neal. Not only is he my favorite comedian, he just had a way of looking at things that was just unique to my eyes. Like, you could tell he's taking notes from everything in life. Like, he overanalyzes things on purpose just so he can have a complete and clear understanding from both sides of the point of view, whatever it may be. And he was funny as all hell. Like, even something as silly as that time he was on Opie and Anthony and they talked about animal delicacies. Like, they were just making up things that people rich people would go out there and just fuck up an animal's whole body just to get one piece. I think they said like flamingo calves or cheetah heels, like taking the heels of a cheetah, cooking it and eating it just for your eating pleasure. Now the cheetah is no longer the fastest animal on earth. He's gonna get destroyed out there not being able to run. But that's just Patrice O'Neal. I still go back and just listen to every time he was on Opie and Anthony. Anytime he did stand up, any radio show he just on, I will always continue to listen to him because I just, intrigued by his point of view and just outright enjoy his comedy. Another person it would be is my great grandmother, Grandma Virginia. Really never had a chance to meet her. I don't know nothing about her, and I really don't. Not from outside of what the family tells me. And it's my grandma's mother. So I really want to know what my grandmother was like coming up. I know my grandma, she ain't gonna tell the whole truth. Cause my grandma, my grandma a beast. 4'11", and I dare you to fuck with her. But I just want to know what my grandma was like coming up. And I just never had a chance to meet her. I think it's cool that my niece and nephew not only have their great they have their grandmother and their great grandmother around, and they've been able to interact with them and be there for them. And, I'm not sad by it that I never got to meet her and things of that nature, because that's just the way the world goes. But if it was somebody, I'd just like to talk to her, just to know how it was like when she grew up and how many times did you have to beat grandma and things like that. And George Clinton, just from the musical standpoint, I think he's a pioneer in music. And I just want to know his mind state, even if it was drug infused. What was going on when you came up with some of that music? Because some of his music, with him and the Parliament Funkadelics, it's still mind blowing to me to this day. I still love all his music, and I would just want to talk to him just about music, just period. I really like that question, Prince, because it was hard to pick three people because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar almost made it. Our boy Prince asked, why do white women think that clutching the purse would matter if I actually wanted that shit? It's the same goofy thing as when people turn to the side and do the Heisman pose when somebody got a gun, like shooting them on the side. It really, like turning to the side is going to stop the bullet. But that dumbass move with the arm out, there isn't nothing that's going to happen. If they want it, they're going to take it, just like taxes. Goofy. Why does vacuum dust smell like Cheetos? I have no idea. My mom always made sure that we always had a top of the line vacuum. So it was never a vacuum where we had to deal with any of that. I know nothing about that Cheeto smelling vacuum dust. And it's fucked up that you did have to go through that. I'm sorry, homie. But I'm sorry about that, bro. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to have to ask you about that shit. And last but not least, in the questions episode, we got my boy Paul Sweet James Jones Chandler. I called your government out, nigga. What is you going to do about it? Nothing. Now, I saved the last for my biggest fan. This dude stays on me about when I'm out recording, when the next podcast coming out. He faithfully listens, and he just speaks on it. So for him to be my biggest fan, I had to say the best for last. He has, why does good pussy don't smell? That's because it's taken care of. Taking care of that natural pheromones that's actually in there. And anything washed is really not going to smell like that. It's just not. If you could get a good hand washing and not have to use that fancy ass soap. You could just get like charcoal. And charcoal will get all the oxidants out of your stuff. And as long as you rinse your hands off good, it will still work and your hands will be clean. So that's why I figured that's why good pussy don't smell. Because you are right. It doesn't. And it doesn't even have a taste to it. Which is, I'm not going to get into that because I'm going to say that for a later episode because I was getting ready to go in. Top 3 Virginia athletes. Easy for me. This just personal. Allen Iverson, Ronald Curry, Michael Vick. Allen Iverson was one of the top recruits in the nation in football and basketball. You saw the results of that talent. Michael Vick for his groundbreaking ability. I have never seen a quarterback that's 6 feet get drafted. And I've never seen a quarterback that fast before. So that's just what that is. And Ronald Curry, just like Iverson, was he was the number one football player in the nation. And Hampton's not that big of a city. Like, there's been some other great players from the area. Alonzo Mourning was big. Joe Smith, Terry Kirby, Dwight Stevenson, Lawrence Taylor. It's always been good athletes coming in and out of the Virginia area. But when it comes to Curry, to be the number one player in the nation, it was consensus. Like, everybody agreed on this. Bobby Bowden came to Hampton High to see this dude because he wanted him. He was a top 5 basketball recruit. Now, he looked too far into the basketball thing because that basketball class is one of the worst. I don't even think it's a great player among that whole class. I want to say it's 98 or 99. But that basketball, go back and look at the 99 McDonald's All-American game. I want to say it was 99 or 98. When I saw that he won the MVP, I said, hold up, because Curry, he's just an athletic basketball player. He's not as skillful as some of the others. He's just going off athleticism at this point. But still, those are the 3 best. That's what they take it in. Well, I take pride in my honesty and just being comfortable with me. Growing up, as I said, I've listened to all different types of music, but I wouldn't let my friends know I listened to this type of music, or I wouldn't play it around them and stuff like that. Nowadays, I don't give a fuck, and I will play what I want to play and enjoy what I want to enjoy. And if you ask me what I'm listening to, I might tell you somebody you've never heard of, and that's not what my intention is. That's just the way I listen to music. You might not know who the Buzzcocks are, but I love the Buzzcocks. Why can't I touch it? From one of my favorite movies, Party Animal, and Getting Out on Our Own. That's just my jump. Peter and the Test Tubes. I Can't Wait till September. Just all that type of stuff. That's just how I do. That's just what it is. And I'm comfortable in that now. I didn't like doing it as a kid because I didn't want to get clowned for it and dogged and stuff like that. But right now, I don't give a shit. This is what I listen to. This is what I'm getting down with. Bam. Greatest single player experience in a sports gaming in a year. Mine would have to go to, I got the whole day down, May the 6th, 1998, Kerry Wood's 20 strikeouts against the Houston Astros at only 20 years old. This was amazing. Kerry Wood put in that work. And because they won the game, first of all, he was 20 years old. Usually pitchers take some time before they get real saucy. Right out the gate, he was getting it in. And 20 strikeouts against the Astros in 1998 with the 3 Bs, Lance Berkman, Craig Biggio, and Jeff Bagwell, they used to crush. Like, the only thing that kept the Astros from being a good team perennially was horrible pitching. And for him to go out there and have 20 strikeouts, only give up 2 runs, and they win that game was just amazing to see for a 20-year-old. I wish Kerry Wood never got hurt so he could have been the great that he was getting ready to be. And because he was 20 years old, he beat out Randy Johnson's Game 7 closeout game in the World Series. Because Randy Johnson, he pitched 3 of those games, 3 of the 4 wins that the Diamondbacks had. Randy Johnson is he's easily my favorite pitcher all time, but I can't put him. It's a battle for the best, my favorite baseball player all time, between like him, Albert Bell, Miguel Cabrera, and a couple of other players. And just how Randy Johnson was able to pitch and dominate against those Yankee teams, because it wasn't a lot of home run hitters on that team for the Yankees team, but it was a lot of good hitters. They knew how to move the bases, get people on the bases, and score runs. And for him to pitch and, put in that work against them was good. But Kerry Wood for the Chicago Cubs, man, it took a long time for the Cubs to recover from that. But he got it, man. He sauced the hell out of there, man. Cricket or baseball? I am not an Indian, and I'm talking about an Indian with the dot on his head, not the feather. I don't know nothing about it. It's an interesting sport to watch. I will give you that. But it will be baseball because I grew up on it. Bone Thugs, Amigos. Grew up on Bone Thugs. And doesn't even take that one out of the equation of growing up on it. I just enjoy their songs more. I enjoy the Migos songs too. I think they're a great group, and they've grown. They've grown a lot, like lyrically and learning how to flow and spitting those, getting their spit game up. Because before it just seemed like talking when you listen to like Bando and stuff like that. Because that's as far back as I go with them. I don't know if they had anything beforehand, but Bando was the first thing I heard from them. And I've enjoyed everything they've come out with. Fight Night, Versace, Hannah Montana, Handsome and Wealthy, the YBN, YRN mixtapes, always enjoyed them. But just Bone Thugs being able to, on top of very unique production by DJ Unique, they just, with the staccato, with the rapping super fast and being able to sing, it was like listening to a cool ass barbershop quartet. That's what it was like. And they was sauce. Paul also asked, $80 for hair too much? Hell yeah. On top of the fact, some will do it for free, and it's cheaper prices out there just for hair. Now, if she getting ready to suck your soul out for this $80, it might be worth it, but not just for your regular. No. That's a bit steep. I've never went 80 for head. And our last question is, would you wear felines with skinny jeans or steel-toe dress shoes to your wedding for $30K? No, this ain't the last question. It's the second to last. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with the steel-toe dress shoes because I wear boat shoes. I wear dress shoes. And I don't have the physique for skinny jeans. I'm real spatula built. Like my upper body's big, but I have regular people legs and arms. And I couldn't do the skinny jeans. And the felines, no. Because those are shoes I saw girls wear, and I'm just not a fan of them. It's just not my cup of tea to wear that. So I'll stick with the steel-toe dress shoes for a wedding. Yeah, you can find some way to make them soft. And our last question, which is odd, but I respect them for it. Bob Sir or Brent Berry? I'm going to pick Bob Sir because I follow Bob Sir's career all the way from Florida State. Him and Sam Cassell in the backcourt at Florida State was supreme sauce. And he was a white boy who could dunk. Brent Berry could too, but he didn't do it a lot in game. Bob Sir was getting dudes in game. He was dunking like that. And I like the fact that he had better dribbles and, he had the handle and stuff like that. Brent Berry turned them three-pointers into a long, illustrious career, a long career. And it's illustrious because he shouldn't have been in there that long, but he was. And he's a funny dude from seeing him on NBA Open Court. But I'm going to go with Bob Sir. He was more my, my favorite style of play. I want to appreciate and thank everybody for sending the questions. We'll probably go back to our regular format next week unless, something else happens. It'll probably be regular format because I want to talk about the combine and stuff like that and what's going on in the sports world. I didn't want to make this one real sports laden because I figured people would ask sports questions. So we'll probably get back to our regularly scheduled podcast next time. And I'm going to try to make Sunday the day that I usually record on. We're going to call this the reborG podcast, amen, or something like that. Man, pick fun at church, something of that nature. Because Sunday seems like the day that I want to do. Boy tells y'all goodbye too. So that means I'm checking out also. Be easy, be you, and be good.